Let me ask you something. What if improving your circulation didn't require expensive supplements, complicated routines, or weeks of waiting? What if it was just a simple drink, made from 4 everyday ingredients that you could prepare in under 2 minutes and start feeling the effects the very same day? Because that's exactly what we're talking about here. This isn't hype. Variations of this drink have quietly been used by professional athletes for years. Before competitions, they rely on it to enhance oxygen delivery, improve endurance, and maximize physical output. And it's not just anecdotal. Multiple scientific studies have confirmed how certain natural compounds can rapidly improve blood flow. But here's what most people miss. Circulation isn't just about sports performance. It affects nearly every system in your body: your energy levels, your mental sharpness, your recovery speed, even your confidence and physical performance in more private moments. And if you're over 40, there's a good chance your circulation isn't operating at the level it once did. That's not a flaw. It's simply part of how the body changes over time. The good news, you can support and even improve that system naturally. In this breakdown, I'll walk you through a simple drink that targets blood flow from multiple angles, helping your body work more efficiently without relying on synthetic solutions. We'll go ingredient by ingredient, explaining not just what to use, but why it works and how each component supports your system. Because when you understand the why, you're far more likely to stay consistent. And consistency is where the real results happen. So if you've been feeling a drop in energy, slower recovery, or just not quite like yourself lately, this might be one of the simplest habits you can add to your daily routine that actually makes a noticeable difference. Let's start with the foundation of the entire drink and the compound that makes everything possible. At the core of this drink is one powerful concept: nitric oxide. And the easiest way to naturally boost it? Beets. Now, most people see beets as just another vegetable, but inside them is something incredibly valuable: dietary nitrates. When you consume these nitrates, your body converts them into nitric oxide through a fascinating process. It actually begins in your mouth, where beneficial bacteria start the transformation. From there, it continues through your digestive system until nitric oxide is produced. So why does this matter? Because nitric oxide acts like a signal. It tells your blood vessels to relax and widen, allowing blood to move more freely throughout your body. When that happens, oxygen and nutrients are delivered more efficiently to your muscles, brain, and organs. The result? Better energy, improved performance, and faster recovery. Now here's the part that's especially important. As you get older, your body's natural ability to produce nitric oxide declines. That means your blood vessels don't expand as easily, and circulation becomes less efficient. But the nitrate pathway from foods like beets works independently of that decline. In other words, you're not trying to fix a system that's slowing down. You're activating an alternative route that still works effectively. That's why this ingredient is so powerful. It doesn't rely on your body doing everything perfectly. It simply gives it a different way to achieve the same goal. But beets alone aren't enough to maximize the effect. To really unlock their full potential, you need to support the conversion process and protect the nitric oxide once it's created. And that's where the next ingredients come in, because when combined correctly, they don't just add benefits, they amplify each other. Let's move on to the first addition that helps activate this entire process. So now that we've covered how beets help generate nitric oxide, the next step is making sure that process happens as efficiently as possible. This is where fresh lemon juice plays a crucial role. You see, the conversion of nitrates into nitric oxide depends heavily on your stomach's acidity level. If your stomach environment isn't acidic enough, a significant portion of those nitrates may pass through your system without being fully converted. That means you're missing out on a large part of the benefit. Lemon juice helps solve that problem. By naturally lowering the pH in your stomach, it creates the ideal conditions for this conversion process to take place. In simple terms, it helps your body get more value from the same amount of beets. But that's not all. Lemon is also rich in vitamin C, which plays another important role. It helps stabilize nitric oxide and protects it from breaking down too quickly inside your body. So instead of a short-lived effect, you get a more sustained impact. Think of it like this. Beets help generate the signal. Lemon helps strengthen and preserve it. And there's also a practical bonus. It improves the taste. Beet juice on its own can be quite earthy and intense. Adding fresh lemon brightens the flavor and makes the drink much easier to enjoy regularly, which is important because consistency is what leads to long-term results. For best results, use the juice of one whole fresh lemon. Bottled versions don't offer the same level of freshness or active compounds. Now we've handled production and activation. But there's still another piece of the puzzle: how smoothly your blood actually moves through those widened vessels. That's where the next ingredient comes in. At this point, your blood vessels are opening up and circulation pathways are expanding. But here's something many people overlook. Even if your vessels are wide open, blood still needs to move efficiently through them. If it's too thick or sluggish, you won't get the full benefit. That's where ginger comes in. Fresh ginger contains natural compounds known as gingerols, which support healthy blood flow by helping reduce excessive clotting and keeping circulation smooth. In other words, it helps your blood stay fluid. A simple way to think about it: beets expand the roads, lemon enhances the signal, ginger keeps everything moving. This combination creates a much more complete effect than any single ingredient on its own. Another important detail: freshness matters. Using fresh grated ginger root provides a much higher concentration of active compounds compared to dried powder. That's why it's always the better choice for this drink. You only need about 1 to 2 teaspoons of freshly grated ginger to get the benefits. It also adds a slight spicy kick, which can make the drink feel more energizing and refreshing. Now, we've covered 3 key steps: creating nitric oxide, enhancing its production, improving blood flow dynamics. But there's still one final challenge. Your body naturally tries to break down the signal that keeps your blood vessels relaxed. So even if everything is working perfectly, that signal can fade quickly, unless you have something that helps protect it. And that's exactly what the final ingredient does. Now let's talk about the final ingredient, and arguably the most underrated part of this entire drink. Raw cacao, not regular cocoa powder, not processed chocolate mixes, raw cacao. Here's why it matters. Your body contains an enzyme that works against nitric oxide by breaking down the signals responsible for keeping your blood vessels relaxed. This enzyme essentially limits how long the benefits last, so even if you produce a strong nitric oxide response, it can fade faster than you'd like. Raw cacao helps counter that. It contains natural compounds called flavonols, which support the preservation of those relaxation signals by slowing down their breakdown. So instead of the effect disappearing quickly, it stays active longer, giving you more sustained circulation benefits. Think of it like this: you're not just turning the system on, you're helping it stay on. That's what makes this drink so effective as a combination. Each ingredient targets a different step in the process. Beets generate nitric oxide, lemon enhances and protects it, ginger improves flow, cacao helps maintain the effect. For the recipe: 1 glass beet juice, juice of 1 fresh lemon, 1 to 2 teaspoons fresh grated ginger, 1 to 2 tablespoons raw cacao. Blend everything together and drink it once daily. Morning or evening, both work well. One important tip: avoid using antibacterial mouthwash around the time you drink this. The beneficial bacteria in your mouth play a key role in starting the nitrate conversion process. You can still brush your teeth, just skip harsh chemical rinses. You may start noticing effects within a couple of hours, but the real benefits come from using it consistently over time. Simple habit, powerful impact, and sometimes that's all it takes to get your body working the way it's supposed to again.